So, well, here's a toast to 30 years of friendship.
30 years.
30 years, exactly.
And still counting.
So, yes.
Yeah, isn't that great, Paul?
Let's get to the specific mystery, the mystery of you, because everybody sees you through their own perceptions.
Well, naturally, yeah.
So how do you think you have been most misunderstood?
Everyone has their point of view, and everyone's point of view is absolutely valid, you know, for them at the moment. Don't get caught in your point of view. Or you will impale yourself on your point of view. Keep it moving, change it.
Well, for example, some people know you only through that 60 slogan, turn on, tune in, drop out. And I don't think a lot of people really understood what you meant by dropping out.
I never understood.
You never? Oh. Then how did you know when you were there?
I didn't say I was there. Jumping around. We're doing good, Ed.
All right.
He's laughing.
His words. 15 years ago, you called yourself a neo-technological pagan.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What do you know what you meant by that?
Yeah, and pagan's great. A pagan basically to me means humanist. All right. See, pagan's good because as a Catholic growing up, I stopped being Catholic when I was 12, I think, but pagan was the worst thing you could say. And of course, I'd never met a pagan in Springfield, Massachusetts, going to a Catholic school.
Right.
Yeah, where these pagans hang out? I want to meet one.
You know what? Was there a specific thing that happened at 12 that made you turn from Catholicism?
Yeah, actually, during that period, yes, I remember exactly what it was. It was a little long, maybe it was 15 or 16 when I really finally broke. I was being sexually molested in my high school and actually totally seduced. I would call it almost rape, but I was going by this great, sexy girl that was much more experienced than I was. And she opened up, you know, the great mystery of sex. Wow. And then I was going to go routinely to have a confession on Saturday afternoon. But I had a date, naturally, that night. So sitting there outside, I was just looking at it. People light it up, and then you go in and you say, like, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. My sin, you lay out your sin, like that. Right. This is absolutely, totally hypocritical. I'm going in there, and you want to know all about how many times I'm fucking, and I have every intention in the world, I swear to you, on the throne of Peter, that I want to go out and be seduced by this girl tonight. And I really was totally fucked and all that.
Oh, well, that would do it. What's the relationship you see between acid and technology and machines?
Well, LSD is one of the many drugs which are based upon neuroactive plants, you know, peyote and like that. Whoever thought grain on rye would come up with lysergic acid? But so the point is that the human brain, we just learned that about 20 years ago, well, actually 10 years ago, they start saying, hey, the brain is equipped with these receptor sites for different kind of vegetable consciousness alteration thing. So we have evolved our brains over 50 million years to these receptor sites. And the plant queendom has brought these, and they get together. So the reason people like to take these drugs is because they're receptor sites. And that was not a mistake. The DNA didn't fuck up, or the devil didn't do it. There's obviously some reason to have those receptor sites that get you off on peyote or get you off on these different, and there are receptor sites for drugs you don't even know about. But hopefully in the Amazon basin they'll find some. Huh? Well, the brain is equipped to be altered by these receptor sites. So the brain is ready to be altered. Right. So that you can see these receptor sites as being like clicks that knock out, you delete the word processing mind, and then suddenly you can, the different drugs will put you in different places. So yeah, see, I'm being very technical there in the sense you can almost, there is an analogy between the receptor sites for marijuana or the receptor sites in LSD and all that, or opium, and you can boot up different areas of your computer. Smoking grass that afternoon, I said, you have to go out of your mind to use your head. Right. But head this, and you're a pothead and a Sherry Garcia, Grateful Dead head and all that. But head simply is a old-fashioned way of saying brain. But we didn't know about the brain. The old sense of use your head, but now specifically use your head by operating your brain. That's a new concept. Instead of use your head, operate your brain. That's hot. It's never been said before, I don't think, 10 or 15 years.
I haven't heard it.
And it's amazing, isn't it? Operate your brain. Why? Because the brain designs reality. So if you learn how to operate your brain...
So then do you see a comparison between the war on drugs on one hand and the attempt to censor the internet on the other hand? You know, the war...
absolutely, yeah.
And the connection is...
People that want to control, and they have to have people that do that to try to keep any society going. I don't knock it, you have to have it. But, sure, they're always against anything that gives the power to change reality to the individual, particularly groups of individuals. Well, you can't have that happening. So sure.
My theory is that these UFO sightings and all of the people who claim to have been abducted by aliens, that this is really just a cover-up for secret government experiments in mind control. That's my theory.
Well, it's a very popular theory.
Oh, I bet it changes
I
then.
get like 10 mimeograph letters a day from UFOs and government, yeah. Boy, that government is really fucking busy and clever to do all that stuff. Wow.
They are, I know.
I'm convinced about UFOs. I'm glad that people are doing this because at least they're doing something on their own. Yeah, it's no more, no matter what. The poor farm wife and 60-year-old farm wife in Dakota who thinks she's taken up and serially raped up in by the UFO people. Shit, they came all the way from another planet, you know, 1,000 light years away to get this lovely grandmother from Dakota and have an orgy with her. I mean,
or at least an anal probe. But to your knowledge, is the government still doing experiments in mind control? We know they used to with all the MK Ultra programs. Do you know if they're still at it? I can't imagine they would have stopped.
Well, you know, I loved debating with Liddy because Liddy would give you the current CIA line. It's amazing how quickly you pick up that line, and Liddy's suddenly saying the same thing that Gingrich, they get the line.
What was his line on mind control?
He said, yes, it is true that the CIA, naturally, when we learned that the Chinese communists were using LSD, the CIA naturally got the whole world market from Sandoz of LSD, and they didn't realize about millions of a dose. A pound would turn on the world 10 times like that in Jupiter. He said the CIA found LSD to be unpredictable. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Can you name one prediction that the CIA has been full of? Everything. The rise of the Shah was unpredictable, right? The rise of the...
Well, by the way, what did you think of Liddy getting a First Amendment award from the National Association of Radio Talk Show Hosts because he said that if the ATF comes after you, they're wearing bulletproof vests, so you should aim for the head or the groin.
That's pure Liddy.
Pure Liddy, it was.
Pure Liddy. He's really basically a romantic comedian.
That when you were debating him, that if you had listened to his advice when he had the midnight raid on Millbrook, then you would have been on stage debating yourself.
He was a government agent entering my bedroom at midnight. I had every right to shoot him.
Right, that's what I mean. With his advice.
Yeah, I know.
But
I've never owned a weapon in my life. I have never intentioned of owning a weapon. Although I was a master sharpshooter at West Point on both the Garand and the Springfield, and I was a howitzer expert, and I know how to do it. But I have never, and I never will have a gun around.
But when you escaped from prison, you were making statements about it's better to shoot a cop than to save a tree, or something to that.
Did I say that?
Something like that. Yeah.
I also said I'm armed and dangerous, and that was taken directly from Angela Davis. Yeah, and I was armed and dangerous. I thought it was just funny to say that.
I thought it was the party line from the Weather Underground.
Well, yeah, no, yeah.
There was some overlapping there.
Yeah, I know. I had a lot of arguments with Bernadine, was it, about
Bernadine Dorn.
Guns, and I love them. They were brilliant, brilliant Jewish University of Chicago kids, and they got on it, and boy, they had a class and dash and smash and